to the foul pole. It looks awesome.
How you guys doing?
Great.
I'm good, bro. Oh man, it's been a wild day. Wild day. 2 days. Well, I put it like a day and a half, bro. Tornado, man.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. That my dog is afraid of storms.
Yeah.
So. And sorry, go ahead.
My son is too. He got anxiety, like big, bad. It's not good. So, yeah, man.
I was swapping out a ceiling fan in my kitchen, and I was on a ladder. I'm afraid of heights. A ladder I'm okay with, but I was taking down the old fixture, which back in the day they must have made it with lead because it was fucking like 35 pounds. And I didn't disconnect all the wires first because I didn't know how. So I unmounted it, and I'm just holding this like 35 thing, and I'm like, all right, so how do the wires come out now? I'm like trying to grab the wires, and it's obviously pulling, like it's only being held by the wires. And then all of a sudden the storm rolls through, and I see hail coming down, and my dog is underneath the ladder shaking. And I'm like, oh my God, like I can't put this down now because I've already took all the screws out of the mount.
Wow.
And I'm like, and the baby was sleeping 15 feet away, so I couldn't yell to my wife either, who was in the other room. So I'm like, damn, come out, man. Because I don't want to wake the baby up. Yeah, and then eventually, thank God, my wife happened to come around the corner, and my arms were like shaking.
Oh,
She's
wow.
like, what's up? Do you need help? I'm like, yes. I'm like, this shit's heavy. And she's like, what do you need me to do? I said, get me a screwdriver because I didn't have the right screwdriver that I needed. And she's like, oh, okay. And she goes and starts to wash a dish. I'm like, D, right now. Get me a screwdriver now. So she brings me a screwdriver. I unscrew the wires, and then I hand it to her, and she's like, oh my God, this thing's so heavy. I'm like, yeah. I've been holding it for like 15 minutes. I'm dying up here. But anyway, that was my day yesterday, having to weather the storm.
He wanted to turn it down.
Oh yeah, it's okay. Keep going.
It's wild because I was knocked out for the entire storm.
You was knocked out?
I was like, there was one point I woke up where I heard it come down. And I was like, peace. And I was like, I went right back to sleep.
Yeah.
Did you know biologically humans sleep better when it's storming?
No, that I didn't know.
That's why, like, you know how a lot of white noise machines are like rain falling and stuff. Apparently, because back in the day when we were cavemen, rain falling meant that the predators weren't likely to come enter your cave because they were not going to travel in the rain and go hunt. So if it was raining out, you were more likely to have a peaceful night because it meant the predators were going to stay away.
That makes a ton of sense.
That's crazy.
I've never known why.
I mean, I believe it. Whether or not it's true, I don't know, but I believe that. Sounds logical.
It sounds logical enough for everyone.
Lions are going hunting in a rainstorm.
Yeah. Right.
No, so like it was crazy because I want to say about 5:30 I got a phone call from my wife. My wife was like, you guys okay? I was like, yeah, we all right. And then next thing I know, it just started like raining real hard. And here go my son, Dad, we gotta go in the basement. I'm like, what are you talking about? Phone started blowing up. So we go in the basement, we sit, wait everything out. Everything was okay. Rain passed, whatever else. I get up this day, take them to school, whatever else. About 8:30, Mom calls me. What's going on? Power went out last night. What you mean the power went out last night? Man, my power went out last night in my house, and I've been in a cold house since 6 o'clock last night. I'm looking like, damn. So you was sitting in a house at 6 o'clock last night, and you didn't call me and say, son, I'm over here in the cold house. I'd have told you to bring your ass on over here, whatever else, but she didn't do it. So
if there's any phone call I'm willing to take, if Mom is cold in her house
right
during like a natural disaster.
Yeah, so she didn't call me anything like that, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck? So right now she's at my house because her power still haven't came back on over there. But once I dropped off my boys at school, and then I went to go get them. I'm coming literally down the street to come to my house, and that's about like a few blocks up from the street from my house, up down 21st Avenue in Gary. Man, bro, when I say it's fucked up, it's fucked up. So on 21st and Wallace, and that's literally about say I live right off of 24th Avenue. So You take about 2 blocks this way, and then a little further up west. Tornado, literally. Touchdown in the city of Gary, by a school in McCullough. Took the roof off. It took the roof off of one person's house. Spent that son of a bitch somewhere and landed on somebody else's garage.
Damn.
And then like trees and everything else are uprooted. Power lines are down. And if you riding up and down 21st Avenue, you would just look. It just looked like a fucking natural disaster. So that's the reason why I was kind of like just all over the place today. Because I was like, Mom was so sleeping in a cold house all night. You didn't tell your son. And I'm like, what the fuck you ain't tell me this? You're like, yeah, I should have been over here. You know, like what the fuck? And now her power ain't on. So she's at our house right now. Thank God she's okay. She's safe. I know our power had flicked on and off for a little bit, but it eventually just kicked back on and stayed on. I'm like,
I'm surprised that that's never happened here, because the power here will go out like real quick. It'll flicker on and off. So I'm surprised that we just never had that happen.
It's just what substation gets in.
And you know the crazy thing is, listening to my mom, she told me that in her lifetime living in the city of Gary, this has been the second time that a tornado has literally touched down in the city of Gary. Because the first time a tornado touched down in the city of Gary is old Gleason Park. And in Gleason Park, it's right off of Pier Street out in Gary. And it's a golf course. And she said when it touched down in there, it tore the whole golf course up. Like, this was back in the day, I guess, when she was like a little bit older, maybe before I was born, when I was born, but I was like, you know, some fucked up shit, man, bro. It's all over Facebook, and it was they was talking about it on the news today, and I was looking like, damn, really? I was like,
I don't have the survival skills for a tornado.
yeah. And like my son, he gets real bad anxiety over this shit, so he'll get like, if he get an alert, he'll come. He won't knock on my door. He'll just open up the door. Dad, we gotta get down in the basement. We gotta get down in the basement. All right, kid, calm down. Relax.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Stay calm.
Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. We'll go ahead and get clocked in. Welcome to the Entertainment Panel. I am your host, Swill. I got my handy dandy cast with me. Guys, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Joey Donuts.
Oh, me next. Oh, Cameron, Cam, you know, for short.
Coach Corey.
Subscribe.
Naked Greg.
Big Greg in the house.
It's been a few weeks, Naked Greg.
Been lazy, been slacking, been tripping. As
Been
they
naked.
say. And just naked.
Just
other naked nighttime.
So that mean you might as well go on Naked and Afraid then.
No, never.
He's never afraid.
Never afraid.
No fear.
If he wore a shirt, it'd be a no fear shirt.
Bottoms at flying free. Top, no fear.
No, thank you.
And a mullet.
Oh, dear God.
Oh gosh.
As always, like, subscribe. We are also on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music as well. Appreciate you guys tuning in. But we'll get right into these topics here. Our homework last week was to watch the doc. What was the doc called?
Oh God, I don't know. It was about the Rust incident with Alec Baldwin last year.
Say her name.
And Halyna.
Halyna Hutchins. Yeah. Halyna Hutchins. The documentary is on Hulu, and it is called Last Take: Rust and the Story of Halyna.
Last take. Okay.
And it was told from the perspective, not perspective, but the side who wanted this out were the side of people who were behind her and her family, her husband, which is another reason why the movie Rust still came out. This came out already, right?
I think it's out, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I could find it streaming anywhere because I was thinking about watching it.
Yeah, because
I had to watch
I
it.
haven't seen the streaming anywhere.
I had to watch it via, other means. I had to sail the 7 seas. I'll say that. Never to watch it.
I got you.
Get the bootleg it.
I cannot confirm or deny.
Okay.
Do you think Comcast is listening right now?
Listen,
Wow.
I mean, and it's well, I guess because it connects with the documentary. But having watched the film, I mean, it wouldn't have made a difference anyway. But it's like, wow, the movie is also bad.
Was the scene? Did they leave that scene in the movie?
No.
That's what I want to know.
No, at least not from what I could tell. Because the thing is, even though I was watching the movie, I kept dipping in and out of it because I'm like, it wasn't an entertaining film. It wasn't
So
an entertaining
did
film.
that? Okay, so you roughly know you saw the Rust documentary, right?
Yes.
So you know what the scene is where she gets killed.
I do know what the scene is. Yes.
So did they replace that scene with another? Does something else happen inside the church where he pulls out a gun and shoots, or did they totally change the storyline?
So they didn't change the storyline, but that scene was completely omitted from the movie, which kind of confused me. And granted, I didn't really fully understand what was going on in the storyline for the movie either way. Which is both, a little bit of shame, but also I didn't fully understand what was happening in the storyline anyway. But I feel like it being missing didn't it didn't affect affect what was happening in the film anyway. So I was like, I feel like that kind of makes it worse too, because it's like, so this could have just been avoided for a multitude of reasons.
Well, with any movie making, you can rewrite the script to get around that situation.
Yeah, or could have edited it in a way.
That's like y'all remember the Crow, and remember when
Brandon Lee.
Yeah, they cut that certain scene out, but then they kept doing the movie.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so we all watched the documentary. We want to draw straws, or how do we pick who's?
Probably 80%
I
of
know-
us watched it.
I know I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but you can go on and discuss it. It's okay.
Who's at fault? Who do you guys believe is there a sole person at fault?
Yeah, can we?
Greg, do you know what the story is at all?
So my understanding, because I've done a lot of Wikipedia, YouTube research on this, Alec Baldwin shot some woman on a set.
Yes. Broad strokes, yes.
Okay.
So yeah, he was. So there's a lot of different people at fault.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be blanks that he was shooting in the scene, but instead they were replaced with a real bullet, and so he really fired a gun through her, and then ended up in the guy behind her. When it got lodged in his shoulder, they removed it. That's how they're like, hey, this is a real bullet. And they kept telling the person who had the bullet inside of his shoulder. They showed him the X-ray, and he's like, no, that's not real. And they're like, yeah, it is. That's a bullet. And he's like, he said in his interview, he's like, no, this looks like a cartoon. Like, there's no way this was real.
Wait. So Alec Baldwin shoots gun. Mm-hmm. First off, why is the bullet on scene anywhere near anything?
Yes.
But it goes through one person. Mm-hmm. Is that the person that dies?
Yes, she dies.
Okay.
I think she was standing kind of sideways because I think they said it basically went across her chest and then out and then into the other guy's shoulder, and that's where it stopped. Killed her. But they didn't know that she died right away. In fact, they got reports saying that she's fine, and they told the whole crew, all right, we're all good. She's going to be fine. Everyone's like, oh, relieved. And then finally, a couple hours later, it starts popping up on TMZ and all over the press, and everyone's sitting on their phones. They're like, what the fuck? She's dead? We thought we were good. And then everyone's looking to confirm, and then they find out she did actually die.
So the fault is kind of to me all over the place. I think everybody should go to jail.
Yeah.
Because so if you start off the day before she got shot, the camera crew,
almost the whole crew quit.
The whole crew quit because they had safety concerns about how things were being done on
Specifically with how the guns were being handled.
Specifically with that, and they quit, thinking that they would stop production and that this would prompt them to go ahead and do those safety checks.
Safety checks.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But instead,
who issued the all clear to advance?
Well, altogether, as there are, when they broke down the hierarchy of the production team, there's 5 or 6 producers, and they're all calling shots. But everybody agreed, we're doing this movie because they were running out of money. They barely had money to keep going, so they had to keep going because they didn't have money to not to.
And so there's a reason there's a whole bunch of people to blame, possibly not criminally in this first instance I'm going to give, but the people who all quit, they felt somewhat responsible that they quit because they quit. This person who died had to now be in front of the camera on scene when normally she would have been in the video village that they set up where they can all watch from a safe distance when things like this happen. But they were so short, she had to go in and actually help film what would have otherwise been someone else's job.
Yeah, she couldn't see exactly what was going on, so she had to see with her own two eyes. And
So she was operating a camera, and
Well, she was
directing.
directing.
So there was a
Yeah.
camera guy. I think the camera guy, is he the one who got shot? Was he a camera guy, or was he?
No. The camera
But she
guy
wasn't
was
like
shot.
an actor in the scene.
No, she was
But she was also the one.
she was the AD, right?
She was also the one that was directing Alec Baldwin where to point the gun.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. Yeah.
She directed the gun to be pointing directly at her. So
And that's supposed to be a no-go. So it's supposed to be in the movies. You're never supposed to point a gun at someone. Like you're always supposed to aim off to left, right, up, down, whatever. But she specifically told him, "Point the gun at me." But he also wasn't supposed to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
But he pulled the trigger.
But there were also some misfires that happened prior, which prompted the production team or the camera team to quit. There were just random misfires where the gun just went off.
Yeah.
Also, you have the curious case of the what is their position?
The armorer?
The armorer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have the armorer, who's this young girl, whose father is pretty much anytime you see any gun flip tricks or anything like that, her father is the guy who taught everyone how to do that.
So why isn't her father the armorer?
Because he's like 107.
He's like 70 something years old. But she's like 22. But
Yeah.
she's super young.
Yeah, but then also between all that, you do have a person, not Alec, that loads the gun.
That's her. So she loads the gun.
And checks them all to
checks
make
them
sure
all.
that they're all
Yeah.
dummies.
Yeah. And then it goes to another guy.
Right.
Who checks it.
Uh-huh.
Now, so, and this is where it gets interesting because when it came down to take blame, she pled not guilty. And she.
The dead person.
No. The armorer.
The armorer pled,
not
the armorer
guilty.
pled not guilty. The person whose job it was, the last guy to see the gun, to check it, to double check her work.
Not guilty.
He pled guilty.
He played guilty.
He said that I was negligent.
Yeah, he said I
So
didn't
she
check
should have
his
played
law
guilty
motion.
too.
Yeah, both of them were criminally negligent.
Yeah.
Well, she got 18.
She got the full
months.
18 months, which was the maximum that she could get on
I
that.
think he got.
He got 3 months probation, I think.
Probation,
He
yeah.
got no jail time.
And then Alec Baldwin's case got dismissed off of technicality.
Well,
Go figure.
he technically should have got some too because from what I understand and from what I do know, they say that most actors that are like people that do action movies, say somebody from like instance like Keanu Reeves that did all the John Wick movies, he went and actual trained for that shit.
Yeah.
You will see him and he checks the guns
And there was
do all that.
There was issues on set about training, and the armorer kept asking, "Hey, they need to be trained. They need to be trained. They need to be trained." And the response that she got back from production was,
We don't have time.
We don't have time."
See.
So that was a
just-
Wrong answer.
It was just
Yeah.
mistakes by so many people that all
That's
culminated
criminal
in this.
negligence.
Honestly,
Yeah. The producers should be serving jail.
I
And Alec Baldwin is the producer on the movie. He's the one that brought this movie.
I
That's right. He just gets
That's
like
right. He was producer, so he should have been served some jail time, and you should be paying. You should be paying some money.
He was up for the same charges. They were all up for a maximum 18-month sentence. The one girl got it. The other person pled guilty, so he only got 3 months probation. Alec Baldwin got out with nothing because his lawyers were able to argue with technicality because they said that there was certain evidence that wasn't provided when it was supposed to be, and it was provided like a couple months later. And so their lawyer said, well, because this evidence wasn't provided at the right time, you had to throw the whole case out. And everyone's like, that's stupid. This evidence had nothing to do with anything because it was like they found another box of bullets or something like elsewhere. It had nothing to do with anything, but his lawyer was able to successfully argue to the judge that it mattered, and the judge was like, yep, you're right. Case dismissed.
Was it like exculpatory evidence for Alec?
I don't know
Yeah, I'm not
exactly, but I know that from the people who were talking in the documentary, they all said that it was evidence that would have never factored into anyone's case one way or the other.
Some big words.
But the judge for some
How long was
reason
the,
caused mistrial.
How long was the documentary? Like about 45 minutes, maybe an hour.
Hour and a half,
Hour
I
and a half.
think. Yeah.
It was just a sad watch.
At the end of all this, like
I need to
the
look
person
into
who's
it.
saying like move full steam ahead, I don't care about the consequences of this. Remember the submarine guy who went underwater and
Yeah.
and then the submarine like imploded.
Yeah.
And like the guy running the whole project quit the week before because he goes, I think this whole thing's going to implode. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, people were, it's also wild because people were bringing up like the Brandon Lee situation. They were like, oh, well, they were like, I don't know why we're trying to move so quick to condemn Alec Baldwin. People, didn't move that hard to condemn Brandon Lee. I said, bro, that's because that was the 90s. People didn't care about this, like the safety and repercussions of like actors during that time. Like, of course, nobody went after that. Like, if the Brandon Lee situation happened now, the exact same thing would be going on.
doubt.
I'm like, bro, early 90s, people didn't care.
I don't even know what the Brandon Lee situation is, but it's like,
It was pretty much
something
the
bad happened.
Almost the exact same thing.
like Bruce Lee's brother for the movie The Crow.
It was his son.
It's his son. I'm sorry.
It's almost the exact same thing.
But I'm saying, we don't need to relitigate something that happened 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's like, we're here right now.
Exactly. Like, this is what's happening.
so,
like, yes.
Like, I do know that when that happened, the fallout was that a lot of actors started was like, you know what? If I'm doing an action movie, I don't want no guns, anything like this on the set. But most actors that are action stars, like I said, a Keanu Reeves, a Tom Cruise, hell, even a Tom Hanks, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they go to these places and they actually take the trainings that they're being rolled to take. So if they know they're going to be in an army movie, they're going and they're taking the actual training that these army people take. They know them like, this is how you break down the gun. This is how you load the gun. This is how you shoot the gun. They take the actual training as if like, okay, this is the role I got to play, and I got to play this role to the perfection, just like that. They take the whole fucking training. Because I seen the behind the scenes when Keanu Reeves was doing the whole thing for John Wick. Man, he was like, I'm looking like, dang, like pointing the gun sideways, doing this and that. I'm looking like, wow. And then Halle Berry was doing the exact same thing. And before they even shot a gun, they made sure everybody clear, back. And they had on the headphones and everything else, shooting the gun, checking the gun, cleaning it, clipping it, all that. I was like, I was impressed.
Well, it's like, people don't take it seriously until something happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, once something happens, you can't reverse anything that has happened. But it's like,
oh, sorry.
There's a person who died because, like,
Somebody lost their life.
His training, though, didn't factor into the killing, though, because it was a dummy bullet that was put in. It wasn't supposed to be a live bullet. And he was instructed by her to point the gun at him. His only misstep, the only thing that he did wrong was pulling the trigger when the scene didn't call for him to pull the trigger. But he still maintains that he never pulled the trigger, that the gun fired on its own, which did happen a few times in the
He's an absolute piece of shit.
in the filming a few times on other
already guilty.
scenes. The guns did go off on their own, so it's plausible that he's right that he didn't actually pull the trigger.
It is, but just the way he went about it, the way he talked about it, the way
he's been moving afterwards.
so pompous. Just the fuck you.
I mean, that's why I don't trust the man who starred in the Cat in the Hat movie. So
Right. And then like how he said that,
that's all you're on.
like with all that, because do you know, like he's doing a reality show about him and his family. It's like ain't nothing happen, anything else. So you're doing a fucking reality show.
Mike Myers.
Like, okay, when did this happen? Like about 2-3 years ago.
The fact that he's doing a reality TV show after all this is it's fucking insane.
Alec Baldwin?
Yeah, he's doing a reality TV show now.
With his family.
No, I knew that, but what do you mean? Why is that insane?
It's insane because he killed someone.
he's trying to. It's like he's capitalizing on it because he knows people are going to want to tune in to see what he has to say. So he's like capitalizing off somebody.
Sure, if they discuss any of this on the show.
Oh, bro. But the thing is, even if they don't, like, Alec Baldwin wouldn't have pulled out a reality show like this if this situation.
Oh, his
wasn't
career
happening.
gonna take a hit. It didn't took a hit.
Yeah.
Well, was Alec Baldwin like real hot property?
Just SNL.
I was just
that
about
was
to
like
say,
the
just
most
SNL
relevant thing he's been
appearances,
doing
yeah.
is SNL, which he still has done since then. So he's been on SNL.
It's
But I don't know, it's crazy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist whatsoever, but one thing I did think about, because they found 6 other live bullets on set, scattered into other random boxes of other dummy bullets. So it's not like there was one box of real bullets. There were 6 mixed in all over the place. And I'm like, part of me, when they said that the whole camera crew quit because of safety concerns, and they wrote a letter saying someone is going to get killed on this set if we don't blah blah blah. We need to maintain the bullets better. I'm like, maybe one of these fuckers was like, I'll show them to take this seriously, scatter real bullets around and say, we'll see what happens.
It's in God's hands now.
No, what was the first question I said? How did that live bullet get on set?
And they never answered it. They don't know how. Everyone keeps saying we have no idea. Should have never been on set, blah, 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 blah.
Somebody knows something.
Nobody knows how.
Boy, I wouldn't work on the set with Alec Baldwin if he was making a Santa Claus movie. I'd be like, that sled gonna run me over.
Was Russ
Bro, because it's so entitled. Like, I don't like it.
Like, you know, he can fuck you up, right?
Bro, like, oh my God.
You do know he got what? I think 3 other brothers. So if you fuck him up,
I'm down to go talk to some old white people.
Got a hot daughter, though, right?
yeah.
Haley Baldwin, Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Is that his daughter, or is that a different? Is that his niece?
This is
It's his niece.
Love is Blind season. What season are we on?
I think like
14.
Oh man.
the American version.
The latest American season of Love is Blind. I will say that this season was they definitely stuck to, like, it was interesting because it's the first year you got to see something that I'm actually personally going through. People talk about values and what's important and how that affects a relationship. There were multiple relationships that didn't work because he was okay with.
I just remembered I saw a headline that said like political views like ruined a lot of the relationship. And I didn't see the season yet, but I remember seeing that.
Christian. One guy was a couple of guys were super Christian, and then there were a couple of women who were like, you know, hey, I'm you know, what about the you know, the gay community, the, you know, this community, that community, you know, how do you feel about Black Lives Matter and things like that. And originally I was of the, there's a gentleman who was on there who said at the reunion, you know, hey, you know, I thought that if we loved each other, we could see past those things and it could still work out, you know, and we could just you have your views, I have my views, but we love each other. And me recently just going through that, it is so much better on the other side of that when you're actually with someone who does have your values regardless of how much you care about them as a person. You know, just things, you know, that might just be a really great friend who, you know, who you don't really agree on all the things. But when it comes in terms of building a family, having a relationship and things like that, you know, I've learned firsthand recently that it just works when everybody is in tune and going in the same direction.
Right.
You know, it's just so much better.
Was that the episode where? Was that the episode where the girl left him at the altar and she was talking about, well, his political
Yeah. So she looked up his church and got information from his church, and his church basically said that, you know, they don't agree with same-sex marriages and different things like that.
Right.
But they're welcoming to anybody. They want everybody to feel welcome. And
Don't say names, by the way.
you know,
Don't spoil names.
I'm not gonna say any names.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I can't remember names, but
I never remember names, bro, except for 2 of them. And that's what I was
I remember what they look like.
Madison and Mason. I only remember them. This isn't
Eminem.
No, because they were boring as shit. Like when they were talking to each other in the pods, I'm just like,
That's
it's like
the other thing I heard
watching
about this
paint just
season.
like slowly drip down the wall. I'm like, both of you are uninteresting. You're perfect for each other. Just please, just get off my camera.
I also saw that online that people were saying this season had the most boring couples on it, and so many of their arguments were based on like politics, religion, you know, things
and
like
it
that.
wasn't a big season of lots of couples getting married.
Oh wow.
So it really made, they really had to turn up the drama and dig for a storyline because not everybody was feeling it.
Now, I don't know if you saw, and this technically isn't a spoiler because it wasn't shown on the show, but there was a couple that was on this season that wasn't shown at all that got married and are still together, like to this day, because they like posted about it on Instagram. There was like this news article about it. They were like, yeah, we were on the show, all of our footage was cut. We don't know why, we're together. And I'm like, you guys have a success story. Like, even if it was boring, I'm like, this season, exactly. I'm like, this season, granted, I haven't seen every season of Love is Blind, but I saw the last season and that was entertaining. But I'm like, this season, from what I've seen, wasn't the most entertaining. At least show me a successful couple then. If it's not
They don't want to show you that.
Exactly, like we just want to show you like the mess. I'm like, if there's not enough mess, then at least show, well, at least these people got together and it was like happy or whatever.
Right.
So then that, and then speaking of the politics thing, one of the girls, when she asks like one of the guys in the pods that, it was funny to me because I'm like, you can tell that when they get asked questions like that, they step back into reality, like, oh, I'm on a reality show, I'm in front of cameras, people are going to know. And so there was a guy, he's like, oh, I just, and I said, boy, that's the answer right there. I said, you stuttering and being nervous. Because I think it was the girl who asked about like the Black Lives Matter and everything. And she was like, yeah, I feel really strong about this, that, the other. He was like, this white girl, she's like, I feel strong about this. And the guy, he's like, well,
I just never thought about it. I never thought about it.
I was like, yes, you have.
And then she's like,
But this was in the pod, right? So she couldn't see his
She's like,
reaction.
what's your? Well, when they got outside of it, she was like, what's your church's view on laissez-faire? And he was like, I don't really know. He was like, they don't really talk about it a whole lot because they don't want to. He was like, they don't talk about it a whole lot because they want people to just come as they are, and they don't want people to feel judged. But at the end of the day, they believe what they believe. So I just thought that was interesting.
Wow.
It's an interesting season. It's definitely a watchable season. I got through it, so there is a little juice there. But
What is this on Netflix?
yeah, Love is on. If you're gonna start with season 1.
Oh my God, you're gonna make him watch 8 seasons of the show?
No, it's just the better.
Oh, God.
First, you gotta watch the first 5 U.S., then UK, then Australia, then Japan, then U.S. 6.
Then UK number 2, number 3, and then you gotta go back.
The best seasons were the first couple seasons, but Paradise. Has everyone in the room seen Paradise?
Oh, man.
You've seen up to 4.
Should I take my headphones off and la la la?
I promise.
No,
I won't spoil
he's
it.
still on episode 1.
He only seen episode 1.
Ariel in here to spoil something.
No, I watched the whole season.
Here's the thing. It's gonna be difficult try really hard. But the thing
To
is,
talk about it?
The thing is, because episode 1, we can't really fully talk about what the show is about.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the show is about until the end of the first
And I
episode.
didn't even finish. You don't even know. I got like 15 minutes left episode 1.
But it's so.
Should I explain it? Because I can only explain what I've seen.
Okay, what did you say?
Go ahead.
So, because I can't spoil anything, because I don't know what happens.
Right.
But, yeah, basically, not James Franco. What the hell's his name?
James Marsden.
James Marsden is the president, and he is getting, he gets murdered by somebody. We don't know who killed him. But his closest bodyguard or his closest Secret Service agent is
Sterling K. Brown.
And he was the last, as far as I know, he was the last one to have seen the president alive. And so they're doing a lot of flashbacks of like them when he first got the job, when he first got interviewed for the job, when he first got the job, his first like days as his employee or as a Secret Service guard. Then they show the morning of and everything that happened. And then they show that he was the last one. So there's some sort of, obviously, mystery of how he died and who actually killed him. That's basically everything I've seen so far. I did not finish the episode. I'm guessing there's got to be some sort of hook there at the end of the pilot, like there is at almost every show. There's going to be something that makes us go, what?
So, when I went to watch it, because it's crazy because I think you told me, he told me about Steve watching it. At the same time, because I was like, okay, I see people online talking about it. Let me tap into it.
What I told you was when Steve said that he saw the greatest episode of television history.
I'm going to address that as well.
And I said, Cam, I trust you with TV opinions more than I do with Steve. Is this the greatest episode of TV history? And you were like, oh, I haven't got to that episode yet. And I said, you let me know.
I'm going to circle back to that in a second as well. So, when I was watching the first episode, I'm like, okay. a quarter of the way through, I'm not gonna hold you up, I guessed some of what was going on, and I was like, because there was just this vibe, this specific vibe, and I was like, okay. And then you get to the episode 1, I was like, oh, all right. So then I'm like, is there gonna be more to this, or what's gonna happen? So you watch, and then with the episode again, I'm not even going to hint at spoilers, but he said it was one of the greatest episodes of television. Do I think it was an amazing episode of television? I do.
What episode was that?
This was right before the finale. This was the episode right before
Just pause real quick.
Penultimate.
This is somebody giving a book report on a book they haven't read. Do I think it was great? Yes. I'm not going into specifics.
Honestly.
On some of the things best I've ever seen.
You talking about episode 7?
Episode 7.
Okay, yeah.
So the thing is, I think we have not in TV.
I appreciate that he's trying so hard not to spoil
Not in
anything for me.
TV, in movies, I think we have seen that before. It was interesting to see it from this perspective.
Is there any reason
Because-
you just go, it's really good, watch it?
Well, no, because it's like I want to be able to sell people, because we'll already get renewed for season 2, thankfully, because nowadays shows you get invested and they get canceled.
Oh, they got renewed for season
They did get renewed for season
Thank
2,
you.
and there's this thing called like the Nielsen charts that shows like, what are the top shows across all streaming platforms, and that was consistently high. So I'm like, okay, a lot of people are watching it, which means we'll probably get multiple seasons of this going forward, because obviously it's one of those, it's a mystery show, you're going to want a lot of answers to it. I think the acting across the board is amazing. I think everybody's doing a great job. James Marsden and Sterling K. Brown especially. There's one particular actress, and I feel bad because I don't know her name, that I just want to, like, that character I want to punch in the face throughout the entire
I know you
show.
talking about.
And I'm just like, oh
Can I
my
guess what it is?
God, yeah.
The one who had diarrhea.
Yeah, no, but however,
No.
with her,
Wait.
her hair is supposed to be that wig that they have. Why they doing her dirty?
What did you say?
The black security lady.
No, I don't think
It's the other. It's the main.
It's the white
main
one.
white chick. Yes,
That's the one. That's the one. That's the one. I kept calling. I was like, I would say, you bitch! You bitch! Oh, you bitch!
What is that? You talking about Sinatra?
Yeah,
Oh, that's her name. I couldn't remember her name.
Sinatra.
Is she the one who runs around the first episode?
You
Like,
would love Sinatra, wouldn't you?
Yes.
I can't stand that bitch.
I love
But the only thing I don't like about the black security guard lady is the wig that they have her in, because it looks like a helmet, and I'm like, who
can't stand-
set her up like this? Who put this on her?
Speaking of that, I couldn't stand Sinatra, and I couldn't stand the little young bitch neither.
Oh, yep.
And we won't say why.
It's
We won't say why. The little young bitch.
I do think it's a better binge than some shows work better weekly, like week to week, and some work better if they just release them all at once. I do think it's good for conversation that they released it weekly, because that's probably what helped it get renewed. But I do think me waiting like a couple of weeks at a time for most episodes to come out helped, because it feels better as a binge. So now that all the episodes are out, like 100%, like watch.
Yeah, it's
like,
gonna.
watch
Yeah,
it.
it's gonna watch it. It's gonna feel good as a binge. And I'll put it to you like this: it's gonna make you think about our American government. That's all I can tell you. It's gonna put you in the mindset of our American government. I guarantee you.
I knew that this show was like a show that we were going to try to watch like as a group. So I tried to watch it on my own without my wife, because it takes so long for us to watch shows together. And I started like, I forget what she was doing, but I like snuck away and I watched it. She came in the room. She's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, nothing. You won't like it. She's like, "Why?" I'm like, I don't know. What's it about? I'm like, it's like a mystery thriller.
Should have been like porn. I'm watching porn.
Yeah. It's sports. It's sports. It's all
cars.
It's like baseball show. And she saw James Marsden. She's like, "Oh, I like him." And I'm like,
Yep. Alright.
so I had to rewind it and watch it with her.
That first episode is gonna draw you in, and it's gonna hook you, and you're gonna be like, okay, I gotta see.
And it's a ride from there.
Yeah, and that's what, you know how like you be on a roller coaster, and you just going up, and up and up. It's going like that with this show. And then I want to say right around the 5th episode, that's when it hits that. Yeah, that's when you hit that drop and you like.
I'm sold on this one.
It's worth it.
That's Paradise on Hulu. It's a very great show. Give us Adolescence, because just a quick one on Adolescence, because none of us have seen it, and I'm probably gonna be watching it this week.
So really quick, it's 4 episodes. Well, the 4 episodes on Netflix. The big draw of it is that each episode is in real time, and each episode is shot in one take.
Wow.
Which and it's one, and they really emphasize, because a lot of shows or movies you see that do like the one take thing, they mention like, oh well, we did a little cheat here, so there's a cut, but you don't notice. But they really emphasize, no, we did this in one take. Each episode they break down how many takes it took to perfect this episode. Like I think the first episode took like 7.
They say that where at the end of the episode?
No, they like post. I'm sorry, they posted it on Netflix. Like they posted like a tweet saying this is how much each episode.
How long are the episodes?
About I want to say 52 minutes to an hour long.
That is insane.
And so the show is about just a really quick premise. So it's set in the UK, pip pip cheerio, all that sort of stuff. And the police arrest this 13-year-old boy. They swarm his house. They arrest this 13-year-old boy. I won't say why they arrested him. I won't say,
Circumstances.
Exactly, circumstances of it, because that's revealed throughout the first episode. But pretty much the show is trying to break down whether or not this boy is guilty of what he did, or whether or not he's innocent of what he did. I will say the good thing is it doesn't leave anything up to interpretation, so it's not a afterwards you can debate like, oh, but do I really think? No, they give you definitive answers throughout the entire show. And at first it's a little bit, as cool as it is for like the one take, it feels a little bit jarring at first, because for the first episode you're like realizing like, oh my god, like this, they have not cut away, like they did all this, and this is all one shot. Like people have to be in the right place, the right time. No one to come in, no one to do this, no one to do that. But everybody has to be on their A game with acting. If anybody fucks up, you have to, like it's so good. And usually with shows like that, I'm gonna wait, because everybody's hyping it up right now. It's like, I'll wait till the hype dies down. But I'm like, fuck it, I'll watch it. And I'm like, this shit, it's heavy. The topics that they hit on it are heavy. I think it's very timely as well. The boys doing some great acting. The people who are playing the police are doing great. Episode 3, I think, is the best episode. I think that's what generally everybody is saying as well. It's good television.
What network and how many episodes?
Netflix, and it's 4 episodes
so far, or total?
Oh, total 4 episodes. The UK likes to get in and get out.
It got one of my favorite actors up in there, and I think it's I can't think of his fucking damn name. He played in all 3 Venoms. He was the cop.
Yes, I know. Stephen, I think his name's Stephen Graham. I know who you're talking about. He plays the dad. He plays the dad.
He just played in another TV
Stephen
show.
Graham. Yeah. Oh, he played. Oh, he was in Boardwalk Empire. He played Al Capone.
Yeah, and he just played in another TV show called
1,000 Blows.
Yeah, that's good. If you need to watch this show, that's good.
What's it called?
1,000 Blows.
1,000 Blows. That's good, and they gonna do a second season on that too. So that's
90% Rotten Tomatoes for 1,000 Blows.
yeah. That's
Where's that at?
Hulu.
Hulu's bringing the hits, man. Hulu's bringing the hits.
He's the boxer in it. He's 51 years old.
Yeah, he's a boxer. Yeah,
Damn.
That show
He was great as Al Capone.
That show is telling you kind of like almost kind of like the middle part of where boxing began, and then they're going into the new era of where boxing is going to be when they first started using gloves over there, and how the UK first started using it, and they took something about some women that was an actual gang over there and everything else, and they used some real kind of like history up in there, man. It's good. It's a good show. Check it out. You'll like it.
Let's skip to video games real quick, because Joe's got a heart out. Joe, if you want to take it away, you and Cam and you guys could go ahead and discuss the video games there.
So what the most recent thing that was probably announced was that Tony Hawk 3 and 4 is coming out.
Yes.
Do you remember when that's coming out? I know it's this year, but I can't remember if there was a specific time on it.
I think September.
September.
I'm spitballing September because for some reason that's in my head right now. It's a remake of the original Tony Hawk 3 and 4 because they did a remake of 1 and 2, and I remember I was like when that came out, I think 2022 or something like that, 2021. And it was like a really, really good faithful remake. It, obviously, nostalgia was there because I remember playing that when I was a kid on the PlayStation. And so for them to also be like, oh yeah, we're also going to do 3 and 4, I'm like, bro.
So this is July that it's coming out.
July.
So this comes out July. This is the remake of
3 and 4, so it's combined. You know, obviously back in the day, 3 was its own game, 4 was its own game. This is combining the best elements of each game.
Man, they finna go crazy.
Using some of the classic songs from the original game, some new songs. So that's going to be huge. You obviously played Tony Hawk games growing up?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't play none of them, but I seen a lot of people playing them, man. And I'm looking like, dude.
My brother used to beat my ass in those games.
They playing that game like non-stop.
So I actually didn't play any of 1, 2, 3, or 4, but I did play the Underground games. I played. Weren't those on PlayStation?
Yeah.
And at the time, I had an N64. And I think the first one that came out for PlayStation 2 was Underground.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I got Underground 1 and 2. And was there a third one? I can't remember. But those games were freaking sweet because that was when you could get off your board. You made your own guy. There was a whole storyline. You'd climb up on houses and grab the VHS tapes. Remember that? That was like Mario. Instead of getting like the stars, you would get the VHS tapes. You could the big finale at the end with like the helicopter. You got to do like a 900 McTwist like over helicopter blades. That game was sweet. So I'm kind of waiting for them to remake those.
Which I think that's what people are thinking is going to happen next because they're like, oh. Because after 1 and 2 came out, like me, I was like, you know, if they don't do the rest, that's fine. I was like, I mean, I love 1 and 2. Same thing with the soundtracks being iconic. I was like, bro, I love this. I'm like, it's fine. So when out of nowhere, when I saw the 3 and 4, I was like, oh, we're building up. And I was like, granted, we can stop after Underground because what was it, Tony Hawk's Proving Ground and Project 8? I'm like,
I never played any of those.
Trash. Like there was even one where they like you could buy a board. They were getting weird, and I was like, "We can stop after 100." So it's like, ugh.
Did you ever play Skate?
I did. That was like
I love that game too.
That was like the antithesis to Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk loyalist.
It's like I only fuck with the Hawk around these parts.
I wouldn't put it that way, but
So Activision, I believe, made the Tony Hawk series, and as far as I know, there was like no rival to that. And so the Underground games were so big that I think EA made Skate. They were like, okay, we got to figure out some answer to this. So they made the Skate game, and that game was cool as hell because one of the things that they added, which was so fun as a teenager, was when you would crash, when you would wreck, they would show a skeletal outline like of your body, and they would zoom in 3D, and they would show every bone that was broken.
Oh.
And it was a high score. It was a high score. You can get to see how many bones you could break. So people were just launching themselves off of the biggest jumps ever, and then there was a button you could hit to bail on your board. So you just bail, and then as you're falling, you can contort your body in any way you want. So people would purposely like rotate their body so that way their head hits this part of their legs, whatever, and then it would show the outline, and you would see every broken bone. And I did that for hours. I didn't.
So it's not even skateboarding. It's just
ragdoll. It's just ragdoll.
Smash him and break his bones.
Yeah, and the other cool thing, and I don't know if I don't think the Tony Hawk games ever did this, but on at least the Underground games that I played, it was still like regular button control, hit L1, R1, whatever, do certain tricks. This game was all joystick control. So you could do it by pulling down on the joystick and then going around this way. It was like an ollie. Pulling down this way was something else.
I remember it was a lot like more technical.
It was all with the motions of the joystick, and your left joystick did something, your right did something. So different patterns that you move. It felt more intuitive, like you're actually accomplishing a trick rather than just like L1, L1X.
They which now makes me think. I don't know if they took that from Skate. Or if they did it around the same time, but there was the one, even though I said it was a bad game, Tony Hawk's Proving Ground, they implemented something like that, which I do think Proving Ground came out after Skate, so I think they probably were like, oh, our competitors doing this, people like it more, we should probably. Because I remember doing that, and because I was younger, the only reason I hated it because I'm like, well, that's more complicated. Like, I can't just press square and L1 and do a fucking backup. I gotta do this shit. So I was like, I hate it.
That was really what I was thinking when I said it was more technical.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck this, I don't press square left.
It's like I learned how to skateboard in real life if I want to do all that shit. Like, what are you talking about?
But it felt like
study.
it felt super intuitive because like to do I'm not a skateboarder by any means. But what's the one when you're going and is it a kickflip where the board does like a complete 360 and then you land back on it?
Yes.
So I think it was a kickflip.
It depends on the direction it rotates in.
But like you pull down on the joystick and you actually like go on your back wheels, and then when you swing it around, like he actually kicked the board that direction. So it like really felt super intuitive with your thumbs, like you were actually doing the motion. So that was cool. But so then the next game I wrote down here is Inzoi, which I believe I'm probably the only one interested in this. Although you used to play The Sims, right?
I'm gonna play it. I'm definitely gonna play it.
Okay. Yeah. So The Sims for like 20 years was the only real. There was a game called I think Second Life, or what was it called? Do you remember that one?
It was called Second Life, and I guess it's huge.
Is that what it's?
I've never played it because I'm a nerd. Whoa! But I've heard it's huge.
Okay, so if we're right about the name, Second Life was like the only competitor to The Sims, but EA still, more Maxis originally than EA, just completely dominated this space with The Sims. Well, then The Sims recently, I mean, the last game to come out was Sims 4, and that was 11 years ago, I think. And people were really pissed about it because they released it without pools, they released it without toddlers, they released it without all these things that the third game had, and then they slowly released them over time and made some of them behind DLCs you had to buy. Like the fans were so pissed about the way that they executed the launch of that game. So then this new game called Inzoi is a game made, I think, by a Korean company, maybe Japanese, definitely Asian though. And it is super awesome looking. It's just like The Sims, incredible graphics. This one actually has a full city that you can actually go to in one loading screen, not like The Sims where like you're at your house and then you want to go to a different house, so you got to like get in a car or like whatever. This one you can actually get in a car.
Photo kind of.
Well, you can actually move your person around instead of just clicking and moving. You can actually use the joysticks to move them around, or the mouse keyboard. You can actually get in a car. I don't know if you can drive the car yet. They haven't said, but then the car will actually drive to a location. You actually get out. It's not just a loading screen. You can go play basketball. You can go play soccer. Like you can go do all these things in an open space. You can go into someone else's house. You can go into a grocery store. Like it looks awesome. And the initial, what do they call the release? The beta, not beta. Early access.
Yeah, early access.
Early access comes out March 28th. So when this podcast drops, you're probably looking at a couple days for early access. It's being released at $40. They've said anybody who buys the early access gets all the DLCs for free. I don't know up until what point. I doubt it's going to be for the life of it. But you'll get all the DLCs for free if you jump in during early access time. And they've already released a roadmap for the rest of the year of what the new DLCs this year are going to be. So there's one coming out in May. There's one coming out in, I think, September, October, where they're going to bring some of the features in. But so far, the early returns have looked good so far. And I'm definitely getting it for sure.
I'm gonna have to check out the trailer because I know my son is playing The Sims 4 right now, and he's into that whole creating a character, building a house, and all that. And he might like that. If he liked The Sims, he might like this.
Yeah. It looks nice. Now again, it's early access, so it's not going to be the full-fledged game. There's going to be issues with it, bugs, things like that.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with that. I'm still willing to give my $40 and play it early.
I did a quick Google out of curiosity about The Sims just to see like how much would it cost to buy if you wanted to buy every expansion pack, everything. Because obviously they've been out for 11 years. I'm like, how much would you spend? Thankfully, someone did the math
Over
on
$1,000.
it. Granted, this is just as of May of last year, and they've released I think 2 or 3 more expansion packs since then. Somebody said $1,150.
That's too much damn money, man.
$1,150. Mind you, probably half of that money, if not more, are things that were immediately available in The Sims 3, like from the jump. I'm like, that's greed at another level.
So just to get the full game.
So if you wanted the full game and say you wanted everything, like, so just to put it in perspective, so things like different seasons, like just for it to be like fall, winter, things like that, or if you wanted to throw like pets in there, like. For The Sims 3, when they released the Pets pack, it had cats, dogs, horses, all that stuff, right? For The Sims 4, their first Pets pack had cats and dogs. Then they released the later one called the Equestrian pack, added horses. That's another $40. They released another pack, another $30. It's like they're micromanaging so much, and then they announced on their big anniversary. People thought all this time they were like, oh, they have to be working on like The Sims 5, right? They're like, we're leaving this alone. It's been 11 years. They're like, well, no, we're not working on The Sims 5 right now because essentially they know a lot of people have put time into The Sims 4, and we don't want people to start over. We're like, but it's what happens every game anyway. Like Sims 3, people pull out time to that. You release Sims 4, we start a new one. It's like you just want to keep releasing expansion packs so people could keep spending $50, $60 on it over and over. I'm like, that's the other reason why I'm excited for this to come out. I'm like, because I need them to get humbled a little bit. Like I need them to be like,
they haven't had competition. So
exactly.
They need another lake house.
One of the really cool differentiators, another one of the differentiators between this and The Sims is, and I bet The Sims would have done this if they were ever going to put out a 5, which apparently they already said they're not doing a Sims 5.
Yeah.
But this one is going to use AI in terms of building. So you can actually, there's going to be, and it's not going to be released initially. It's going to be a future, feature. But you can actually use AI where you can say, build me a table that looks like this, or make me a bed that looks like this, or a house that looks like this, and it'll actually generate it, which is super cool because I don't have the time to I just want to say, make me a dope pool, man.
Bro, it takes days. Like,
it's so hard to do certain things, like landscaping in those Sims games, to build, actual nice, landscaping, flower beds, whatever. It's so tedious, and I don't want to do it. But if I can just say, make me just, something that looks like a, like a palatial garden.
Okay.
Give me that.
If that be the case, I better not see no damn free guy and seeing no Ryan Reynolds walking around singing no damn
Dude, I love
Ryan Carey. Singing, hey, I see some shit like that. I'm cutting the game off and tell my son, cut that damn game off. Hey, get rid of it.
Play some Call of Duty like normal kids.
Exactly. Shit. Hell no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so the AI thing, I'm really excited to see how that works out.
Okay.
Well, if I know absolutely nothing. But if they're putting that feature in, it's not a big jump to say upload a picture. And then we can make that picture into something.
Yeah, so that is actually another aspect that you bring up accidentally is that you can upload pictures or designs, and then you can layer that over or texture it over certain objects. Excuse me. So let's say you want your guy to wear a certain shirt, you can just upload a picture and it'll drop that image over the shirt to contour the image around the shirt itself, you know what I mean? Or a certain pattern, or if you have a bedspread that you want to have a logo on or whatever, you can just drop it on there, and it's not just going to look like a picture that was pasted off of Microsoft Paint. It's actually going to be layered into the texture. So that's actually really cool too, because custom furniture, custom objects in your house, wallpapers can literally just be an object or an image you find online, and then it just drops it over the object and it looks nice.
That's pretty cool.
So
okay, I like that.
Thanks, Greg.
I don't know how customized it's going to be, but I can imagine some interesting applications.
Oh yeah. Dude, Cam's already, for The Sims 4, Cam's got the nasty mod.
Why am I being called out?
Where normally in the Sims games, when they have sex, it's just the characters just roll around and it puts what does it do? Does it?
I'm not gonna help you call me out right now.
I'm gonna pervert.
Put him out there.
Why we kink shaming right now?
It's basically just a giant dust ball, and then you see clothes flying everywhere.
This one actually got him.
The mod that Cam got on The Sims actually shows hardcore sex, full organs, everything happening.
Hey,
you got
it. Here's the thing.
Freaky mod.
Here's the thing.
You can say
Here's
come
the
on the
thing.
back,
Here's the
come on
thing.
the face.
So it's called it's called Wicked Whims, right? And whoever made, first of all, I didn't make the mod. You sure? Shout out to the perverts
I
online.
didn't make them.
Here's the thing.
I was a beta tester.
So
You see up on my phone now.
So here's the thing. Yes, they like the limbs, all that. They show because I guess whoever's coders and people who are doing that, I guess they take whatever from actual porn and they code that into the game. Obviously, the Sims community doesn't care because that gets more people to download it. You can literally, Steve. I shit you not. I shit you not.
You can do that too.
Everything. But the way that they try to make it like less perverted, which to be fair, it's a good feature. But so in The Sims, say if
STDs too.
Yeah, so you can get all that. You can get accidental pregnancies. But so here's the thing. So say if in The Sims, if you're in the base game, if your character like has company over, and it's like they just had a party the previous night, so the place is a mess, they'll feel shame or something, right? There is a feature in the game after you have sex with if you have to have sex with a girl, if she does not go shower and you come on her face, she will feel shame. Like people see me with cum on my face, and that little show on there, and in her little icon, you'll see little droplets on her face, and I'm like, it's gross, but it's so cool because it's realistic. It's like, yes, go shower after you have sex because people will see that on your face.
What's the limit between some weird like Japanese sex video game and this? Because we're
like
5 miles past.
Bro, it makes, and then to get, to be more fair, like there's realistic things where like women on the game, like they get their period, so there'll be times like I don't want to have sex, and then if you're the guy, they're like, okay, they decide to have sex anyway, then the guy feels shame because that, like it's crazy because you would think something that's as quote unquote like perverted as that they would just beat it like, oh, it's just you see dicks and ass and that's it. But it's like, no, you're gonna see dicks and ass, but also you can get herpes, you can do this, you can do that. So I'm like, I appreciate them going
The realism.
exactly. I'm like, if you're gonna be gross, then
Be all the way
I will
gross.
exactly. Like, I
I'm
want
wondering
you
how I
to
can accidentally get herpes in my first life and second life.
I'm gonna go on there just so I can see how fast I can.
It's crazy,
isn't that?
because like,
Contaminator.
I honestly feel like, and people joke about this like online with the game. They're like, they feel like whoever made these mods probably secretly works for EA or whatever, because it's like, it's not like, because in EA, like with the actual game, you can only, they call it woohoo in like the game, you can only do it like, in the bed or maybe like in the hot tub or like in the closet. But the way that they modded it, they animated, you can do it on the coffee table, do it on the floor, you can sneak out and do it in the middle, like literally everywhere. So I'm like, bro, somebody works for EA. Or probably the majority of them, they're like
Thinking about that the whole dang on.
bro, and that's why we're like, we don't want to make Sims 5 because the graphics are going to be too realistic, and you guys are going to be like having like MFM in the middle of the goddamn kitchen.
We're taking it away. We saw what you did with Sims 4. Taking it away.
Showing up with BBLs and everything. And
Put your 3D glasses.
You're about to, Steve's about to go to, you're about to go to Best Buy.
I'm just trying not to. I'm trying not to get overworked about anything.
You're about to go to Best Buy tomorrow and buy a laptop.
I just have my blood pressure checked.
hey, you gonna have chicks on Sims 4 with BBLs and whatnot, and boob jobs, and
I'd better not see you at Best Buy tomorrow going to buy a gaming PC.
Love a good boob job, hate a BBL.
I don't know. Real quick, the next game.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed just came out.
Jesus Christ, you guys.
Moving on and not looking back.
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
No pun intended with the Assassin's Creed. Go ahead.
It's a really good game. I just started playing it today. This Assassin's Creed, I think they really did a really good job. In this one, they have every Assassin's Creed except for, I want to say, probably 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4. Because on this one they got.
What do you mean, like the main characters are in this one?
Yeah, so when you load up on the screen, you can go to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. They don't have Black Flag in there, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and Assassin's Creed Origin, where you can kind of like go back, and I think you can either replay those characters, and because
You mean play the new game as that character, or you mean you can play the old game?
you can play the old game. Yeah.
So when you buy this game, you basically get like 4 or 5 games in one.
Yeah, if you, I haven't
really
really
into. I don't know.
I haven't really like played it, but it's a memory. So like when you go in there, you load up the new Assassin's Creed, but if you scroll up and down, it's gonna say Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Origin, and then Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Is gonna show you the last 3 Assassin's Creed games. Because what Ubisoft is trying to do, they're trying to do this type of Assassin's Creed vault, where you can go in and you can play all the Assassin's Creed games. They're doing something like with a vault and everything, but this one right here is taking place in Japan around like the 1600 part with the samurai and the shogun and everything else, man. And the graphics on it is like amazing, and the stealth mode on there with the ninja, and they call it shadow for a reason. Like the ninja literally has to sneak around and be in the shadow. So like if it's light, yeah, you get seen, but if it's dark and it's in shadow, the ninja can actually be within the shadow, man.
Which is how the series first started out, when it was very stealth-based. Then they kind of got away from that, and then now it looks like they're trying to go back to it. Plus, Ghost of Tsushima was such a huge game, and everybody loved that. I feel like they're trying to capitalize off of that type of game. The new Ghost of Tsushima game comes out this year. I don't know if we haven't released it yet, but I know I'm going to get that game. That looks amazing. Yeah, this new Assassin's Creed game might have me jumping back in, because I haven't played one since Black Flag.
Yeah, I haven't.
And I did not like Black Flag where I was. I was like, the ship stuff was too much for me. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be a fucking assassin.
Yeah.
So I quit Black Flag maybe 3
So
or 4 hours in.
it's two main protagonists. You got a female. She's more like the ninja type,
Like the traditional Assassin's Creed sort of thing. Yeah.
And then you got a black samurai in there, which they're kind of trying to talk about, which a lot of people don't talk, and say that there literally was once a black samurai.
Yeah.
So
And that's, and then we're gonna talk about controversy. And of course, it was bound to happen. Where people are like, "Oh, well, that's it's not historical." The thing is, when it comes to Assassin's Creed, when people try to bring historical accuracy, I'm like, bro, they were talking about gods and mystical beings,
Golden apples.
Exactly. I'm like, y'all don't give a fuck about historical accuracy. I'm like, even though it is historically accurate that there was like a black samurai, it's like, you guys don't really care. Like, it's just controversy to cause controversy. The game itself, it's reviewing really well. I'm probably gonna start playing tonight, unless we play Split Fiction tonight. I'm gonna start playing Assassin's Creed tonight because I'm excited for it. Because, like, kind of like you were saying, like, you have to like sneak around. It feels very traditional, like Assassin's Creed type of game. So I'm like, and it looks great.
check it out.
9 out of 10 on Steam right now.
Yeah, because the chick, she got a grappling hook
Yeah.
to crawl up to the buildings and everything, and then the samurai, he's more like the brute strength and everything else in it. But yeah, so far it's a good game, man. I'm enjoying it so far. So yeah.
Sweet.
I'll be tapped in.
So, a game that I've been playing a lot recently, actually today, for instance, is Frostpunk 2. This is a survivalist type game. It's kind of a top-down, I don't know, like, it's almost like a Civilization. You said you've played the first one, or you've seen the first one?
I've seen the first one.
Okay. I'm trying to describe what type of game it is, but it's a top-down game where you're kind of controlling a civilization in a survival scenario in which the storyline is like these people came from London in like 1700, something like that. And they're traveling to the U.S. and their ship got caught up in a huge ice storm or something, and you crash landed, and the game picks up where this society that you're taking over has built a generator, and then from the middle of this generator, you kind of build a city outward. The generator is like the center, the hub of the city, and you build outward the society. and it's a top-down. You're just placing buildings, you're putting people to work, you're doing things like that. You're not actually controlling any individual people. What's up?
Which this guy was attacking me for my sick things that I do. Let's talk about the sick things you do with your civilization that you're running.
So I'm gonna get into that.
Hitler.
So,
okay.
if any of you guys have ever played Tropico, it's kind of like Tropico, but Tropico kind of has more of like a fun, kind of goofy, cartoonish. This game is like kind of hardcore in terms of its tone. Like it's I mean, children are dying, people are dying, getting diseases, they're killing each other. So there's different ways you can take your society. There's all these different branches you can take your society in, and as you pass laws, it takes your society further this way or further that way. And then you can pass a law that kind of brings it more towards the middle. You kind of can appease certain groups, whatever. Well, with this new game, the second version, there's factions that crop up. So as you seem to take society this way, factions will pop up who don't like that. And as you then say, okay, I'm sorry, and try and take it that way, then the original faction that you catered to, now they don't like you. So it's kind of a balancing act of these different groups. Where I am right now, there's 4 groups. And how I'm playing the game right now, and I sent Cam a picture of this, is one of the groups. And you can do different things. Like you can build a propaganda center, and then you can start putting out propaganda to slander certain groups or to promote other groups. You can start militarizing different groups. So I started setting up, this one group is called the Pilgrims. And this group wants things to be like old school. They want to be religious. They want to be whatever. And I want to take my society in like more of a scientific thing, like pushing forward with progress, like building machines, like things that are going to be automated. And these groups are very classical. So this Pilgrim group was giving me all this trouble, and they're protesting and they're starting all these, issues. So I'm like, fuck these people. I'm going to stomp them out. So I started building up secret police. I started sending them out to murder these people in the middle of the night. I get all these little messages. It's like 58 pilgrims went missing. And then there's an investigation because then there are people are like, what happened? And I click the button that says like, hush them out, like basically like ignore them, tell them, lie to them. I'm setting out all this propaganda against them. These people are getting so pissed. So then in this game, there's this new, you got to send people out to scout out the area, so you send out scout teams while you're working on your city. And I sent out a scout team, and they discovered a new city that we needed for certain resources. So they're like, this place is extremely radioactive. Like every couple weeks it gets more and more radioactive, and these people are going to get sick. Who do you want to send?
Pilgrims.
I sent all them pilgrims. So I sent the pilgrims. So the pilgrims who don't like me, they start sabotaging this new city, and they start breaking shit. And so then I have to dude, it's just, I'm just going full like almost like death camp style on these people. I passed laws to experiment on them who go out of line. Basically, you can then take those people and you can experiment on them. Like, all right, you're no longer a part of society. You are a science project. And I'm doing all these ridiculous shit just to see how far I can go.
Man, this all sound like some Fallout stuff, man.
Bro, like all I'm doing on the Sims is making people fuck. He's over here building concentration camps in his goddamn video game. Like, what are you talking about? I'm letting people fuck.
Listen, it's called a work camp. Okay,
That's where in the way people want to take over.
Listen, the amount of jokes I had for that, because when he was talking about everything he's doing, I'm like, wow. I'm like, not you full on colonized.
So the screenshot that I sent Cam today was of this message so basically you have a council of people that you can vote on certain laws.
Put it in the chat.
And you have to, with this council of people, you have certain ones that like you, certain ones that don't. You can try and influence their vote. You can try to do certain things to garner, their favor, whatever. So this one idea, it's called a radical idea. It says basically like if you pass this idea, there are going to be certain people who will never forgive you and they will never be on your side. Are you okay? Are you sure you want to do this? And the idea was sterilization. It says to prevent future crimes, we will ensure hardened criminals do not reproduce and further their deficient stock. So basically they're just going to castrate hardened criminals.
Damn.
And I did not pass it. But I sent it to Cam and I said, should I do it?
Boy, he didn't pass it, but I bet you put that in his drawer marked.
We're gonna park that one over here for today.
Listen, I got Pilgrim's name written all over. If they get out of line one more time, they break one more industrial plant.
They're like, you want to shred this idea? No, just keep it in this drawer. Just keep it in this drawer. We'll revisit that in the future.
So anyway, that's that game. It's fun. I like it, but it can get heavy.
I might finally tap in. I might finally play it.
I think that's enough of the video games, man. Y'all got me. After talking enough about that, I'm done. I'm good, man.
The last game I was going to bring up real quick, and I'll skip over some of these, was that Split Fiction game that you just mentioned a couple minutes ago. So Cam bought this new game. It's the same company that made, same developer that made, what was it called?
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two, which won Game of the Year a few years ago.
Yeah.
Which was a 100% co-op game. You had to play the game with someone else, and my wife and I actually play it. Again, when I do things with my wife, it takes forever. So we started the game like 3 years ago, and we maybe got 3 or 4 hours in. She's not good at video games, and you have to work together in this game. And so that's kind of the idea of the second game too, Split Fiction, which Cam bought, forgetting that you have to play co-op.
Yeah.
And Cam texts me, he's like, "Hey, I got no one else to play this game with me. I can't play it. Can I go ahead and send you my guest copy? Because I guess in that game, which is kind of cool, you can, the person who buys the game can allow someone else the game for free to play with them. But that person can only play if they play with them. So I can only play if Cam jumps on. But I can download the game and play it for free.
Okay, that's what's up.
So it's either that, because the developers, they created this Discord where you can jump in. So say if you're someone who doesn't have friends or something, right? Like I was, but you can go into the Discord and be like, hey, who wants to play the game with me? But I'm like, I don't want to play with some random strangers, because you also, especially since you're not in the same room, which I figure, I don't know if I have a headset or not, but you have to have a headset on. You have to talk and communicate with the other person. I'm like, I don't want to communicate with a stranger. Like, it's different when you're playing something like Call of Duty or Fortnite, because it's a bunch of people talking and you're just, throwing
You ain't paying no attention.
Exactly. But when the game is just you and one other person, I'm like, so what do you do for a living? I don't want to fucking do that shit. So
No, and
about the game.
And this game is completely cross-platform. So Cam's going to play on his PC. I'm going to play on my PS5. Someone else can play on their Xbox. I don't know if it's on Switch or not.
it's not, no.
But this game,
General gist of the game.
I don't really know how to explain it.
So it's like these two girls who, like, they work for this like tech company or whatever, right? They're trying to like find the idea of very meta. Like, I think it's like the next game or the next movie. They're like writers or whatever, right? And so they go into this machine, so they could bring their ideas to life, not knowing that the person who's putting them in the machine is planning on stealing these ideas and I guess like killing them or something like that, right? So you're playing as these two characters who are bringing to life like these different settings, like science fiction and like mythical sort of things, and obviously you have to work together with other persons.
So
who
is
you're
this
playing
like
with.
Severance?
No. Well,
It is a stylized.
it's an interesting way to put it, actually, because how you like separate, I see what you're doing there.
Fiction.
Split fiction.
I read a little bit on the way here. I think it's called Split Fiction because the game goes back and forth between like sci-fi and fantasy or something. Like it kind of changes stylistically too. Like it goes from like cartoonish looking to more realistic looking to like other styles. I heard it's like one of the most, from the reviews I heard, it's one of the most like creative games these people have ever played. They said it's super cool and unique. The little puzzles you got to do, because obviously you have to work together. You can't beat the game without the other person like hitting a button for you so you can do this, vice versa. They said it's very creative as far as all that stuff goes. It's the highest rated game so far of the year, and it's getting buzz for Game of the Year, which their previous release, It Takes Two or whatever, won Game of the Year. So this is a company that takes their time and they put out super good, well thought out games. So I'm excited to try it.
Will don't play video games no more. He act like he too grown for it now.
I feel like it's a good like bonding experience, like for if you like play with someone else. The one other thing I'll say about it is the guy who's like the head developer for the game. He's like notorious because he's very like vulgar, very like matter of fact, straight to the point sort of guy, right? So like whenever they invite him to like the Game Awards to announce this game, he's just like cursing expletives on skates. Oh, this game's so fucking amazing! Like fuck those other award shows like the Oscars, the Emmys. Like he's a very humorous, very personable guy. So people online before the game came out, because this is the first game where it stars like two like women as the characters. People online, they were trying to start controversy. They were like, oh, why do you have to do this? And the guy, because he has a really rough accent, he's like, oh, well, first game you play as two guys, second game you play as guy and girl, this one you play as women. I don't give a fuck what your genitals are. I don't give a shit. So people were just like, just play the game. It's a great game with great characters. People are like, and that is all that fucking matters, bro. Like,
Cam's like, as long as I can see the genitals.
As long as someone can modify this so they can scissor.
then I will tap in, which I will be looking into before we play the game. But yeah.
All right, before I leave, because I do have to leave a little bit early, I did bring snacks. Now, granted, they are cold, so. But this is the new KFC mashed potato poppers.
Well, you guys enjoy that. I will tell you about that.
You're in danger.
So,
Let's go ahead and pass
You
me
don't
around.
want it? Because that's going to determine how many I grab. You can't have it?
No, I can't.
Okay, which so I'll get two then.
I went to the
Take two, pass it down.
I'm generally like afraid of
You
the
can the lid
doctors.
so he can throw it to Greg.
I don't know why.
Throw it.
Yeah, you can cap the last two and toss it.
I don't want it to pop open.
If you put the lid on it,
That's gonna scare me.
whatever. Do whatever you want.
That's gonna scare me. Continue.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
so I go to the doctors and I just go for a general checkup. And it's nothing crazy. I just, I haven't had insurance for over 10 years. Finally got it, so I'm going to use it. So yeah. Car business, you don't get insurance. So I go and I'm sitting there and filling out the paperwork, and I'm generally just nervous. I go in the back room, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna take your blood pressure." And she was like, "Do you know? They just go around the Rolodex of things that you know about your health and that you know." And I was like, "Yeah, I've had high blood pressure before, and I was medicated for it, and I ran out of medication because I didn't have insurance and." Blah, 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 whatever. She was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's okay. She was like, we'll just take your blood pressure. So they did, and my blood pressure was literally 240 over 130.
What the fuck?
Shit.
Yeah.
Did they take you to the hospital immediately?
No, they said, they were like, well,
They said, sir, you're clinically dead.
well, they said,
Sir, you're a balloon about to burst.
yeah, they were like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine. And they were like, and I felt perfectly fine, like completely fine.
Did you say 240 over?
Over 130.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Now I'm scared. Now I'm scared to pop this in.
Yeah, well, I mean, so she was like, well, what we're gonna do is like, it could be that you're just really freaked out right now, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of freaked out. So she was like, well, why don't you come sit up here? And I sat up on the thing, and I just laid back, and then they just left me in there, laying down for like maybe 15 minutes, and then when it came
They
down,
brought a coroner back with them. Oh, shit. He's
well,
Is this guy a large
when
bag?
they came back, it was like 180 over 90, which is still high, but it wasn't that high.
Yeah.
So what they said was, they were like, well, it's high, and I was like, and you guys, you can tell me if you've heard this before, but I was told by one of my OGs that black people operate at a higher blood pressure anyway.
we do.
We generally operate around like 165, 170.
Yeah.
Because the metrics of blood pressure, however it was measured, was originally taken by the Amish, and they live pretty simple lives. Black people are just known to have we're more popping than that. You guys go ahead and enjoy your
I'm screaming.
Trying.
But anyway, so
Glad it's not fucking 240.
yeah, well, he told me he's like, if it would have stayed at around 220, we would have told you to go to the hospital, but it came way down, and then he gave me my medication today, so I took that. But he was like, you probably have to pee a lot, but besides that, and the cool thing is, with the guy that the doctor that I had, he actually acknowledged, he was like, blood pressure medication changes depending on ethnicity and race. Whichever one, your background. And he said, if you're, certain things work for white people that don't work for brown people. He was like, so here's what I'm gonna put you on this, and then that was pretty cool to hear, because some people may acknowledge that, but I mean, here's a brown doctor telling me like, hey, like I know for sure this works for certain types of people, so that was cool. So those death nuggets that you guys are eating, what do those taste like?
We should have eaten this at the very beginning.
Before they were so cold.
Yeah, because I feel like that's affecting the taste here. 'Cause I don't like them.
So, yeah, I actually did have them when they were warm, because I actually bought 10, so I ate 2 in my car before I came over.
They better warn.
Not really. Not much better warm. I think they're just so plain. That was like my
Looks like they a little bit better.
Where did they come from? Where did they come from?
Well, there's another one available over here if anyone wants it.
No. I'm gonna tell you something about KFC. KFC is the nastiest chicken that you can buy. KFC, out of fast food chicken, KFC reigns bottom tier. The only thing they got going for them is that good ass chicken sandwich. That chicken sandwich is different. In fact, that if you got to get it hot, don't let that the life expectancy on that chicken sandwich's goodness is literally maybe 12 minutes. You got 12 minutes.
If you don't scarf that before you leave the parking lot.
Yes. But besides that, there's nothing that KFC does well. Popeyes got them wiped down. Zaxby's, I hear, got them wiped down. I also hear the Jollibees has got them wiped down. I know for sure Church's has got them wiped down. I mean, I know them your boys.
Yeah. But the thing you're talking about on blood pressure, my wife, she takes blood pressure pills, just because her blood pressure be like through the fucking roof. At one point in time, it was through the fucking roof. At all times, it was like 190 over 87, 200 over 90, or at one point in time it was like 215
for no reason too.
Yeah,
I'll tell my doctor not to tell me. If I die, it's my time. I'm on the edge of glory.
See, this is why niggas don't make it.
Listen, the amount of bacon I eat every morning before I leave for work, I know it's only a matter of time before my heart just says enough. And then that's just it.
I had a couple. I didn't have any close calls, but it just
that runs in her family though.
Yeah, mine too.
So
today I had for dinner. I didn't really eat anything during the day, but I had beef, like ground beef with broccoli and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they should.
And the thing is, like, I'm not like a food guy. But
Steve, I gotta go. Remember?
Yeah.
So anyway, to finish up real quick with the potato things, I think they should have put like garlic, jalapeno, cheese, something in it. I think they were just kind of plain. That was kind of my
Yeah, it just feels like I just ate a hash brown where the inside was just mushed up.
Yeah, it really was.
It's a base, and then you add.
Yeah,
like,
they forgot some ingredients.
Here's 3 jalapeno ones. Here's 3 garlic ones.
Like, did they give you?
Garlic, cheese, jalapeno, something.
This is gonna sound gross. Is there like a gravy dipping sauce?
There is, yeah. There is. But it's just a regular gravy.
I would say throw some gravy on that damn.
I'd rather have the broccoli cheddar bites over these any day.
Yeah. And then the last thing I want to say about food was, and I know you tried them, was the new Wingstop tenders.
I tried them too. They're good.
Are they good? They fire?
See, now we're about to disagree.
Oh God.
Now I gotta try
I feel like I'm in the middle because I do agree with his complaint.
He wants more crunch, right?
No. My complaint was too much breading this time.
Yeah.
There's less chicken. I think they just tricked us into giving us less chicken.
No, the ones I had was always all juice.
The Wingstop.
Wingstop changed their tenders.
Changed their tenders. Yeah.
We just talking about the regular ones, or we talking about spicy ones?
No, they're just their base tenders.
Not the flavor, like literally like the breading on it.
Yeah.
So they used to be like very lightly breaded, and like kind of like their wings, I guess. But now they have like, when I bit into it, I could see inside of it, and there was a thick coat of breading around it, and then a gap, and then the chicken. So I think what they did was they were like, hey, chicken prices are expensive right now. How can we get this down? Let's cut these chicken down by 15-20%, and let's put more breading on them and say it's a new version of it. That's what I think they did, because when I bit into it, I'm like, there's less chicken in here for sure, and the breading was so thick. So
I joked to
they were fine.
I was like, I had a chicken sandwich, but it wasn't even a chicken sandwich because it was all that bread. Because it was just. The thing is, I still liked it though.
The taste was fine.
Yeah, the taste.
No problem with the taste.
It was just.
I could tell there's less chicken. I'm like, I see what you're doing. Rick Ross, come here. Come here, Rick. Let's talk. I see what you're doing.
I'm gonna eat it. What do you say? I'm gonna eat it.
I mean, I still love Wingstop. That ranch is unbelievable. I'm gonna get it anyway.
Like $10 for a cup of ranch at Wingstop.
Oh my god.
All right, nigga, go take care of your kids.
I gotta go. I gotta go pick up my baby.
Yes, please do.
It was lovely to have you here.
Thank you. I enjoy it. We'll check out the rest of the podcast when it airs.
Sure, man. Yeah, sure.
About Yeezy.
Yeah. So we will get into that.
Because I want to know where you broke on this. I want to know where you broke.
Use my joke if you want to.
Oh.
This is amazing music. This is.
They ain't let us in. We pass on the settlements.
is amazing.
This album.
Yeah.
Which track is this? The first, second?
How it opens up.
That's how it opens up.
Bro. Shout out to Easy, man.
I felt nothing. Here's the thing. It's like when I listen to it, which I had to look up afterwards because I'm like, this doesn't feel finished. And he says it's not finished. He says it's like, I guess he said it's like a rough cut or something. Yeah, where he said even some of it is like AI vocals or whatever. So a lot of it's not even. So I was like, this feels like somebody went on ChatGPT and said, "Give me a Love Lockdown Part 2 Kanye album."
Oh wow.
And then the ChatGPT was like, "Here you go."
It's 808s mixed with Super French. Yeah, and I'll tell you this.
What's Secret Fantasy?
Dark Fantasy.
I knew the word Twisted Fantasy. And I agreed with you too. I was like,
That fantasy wasn't a secret.
I was like, what the fuck is Secret Fantasy?
The thing is if you sit there and you hit the lights and you turn this shit on, bro, this shit is an absolute vibe, man. Like, Kanye continues to innovate music in ways that we aren't ready for. He's always 3-4 years ahead of what your ears are okay with hearing. That's the premise of Kanye. That's why people love Playboi Carti. Playboi Carti is just gay and just rock version of Kanye. Really, that's all he is. So, and I understand that Kanye went and said some shit this week. Said a lot of things. He said kids look like the R word.
Which it's wild because I know, and you know I'm obviously a big Beyonce fan, right? But the thing is, the reason why I didn't care, about what he said is because
I'm gonna let you get away with that one.
Listen, the reason why I didn't care with what he said is because I'm like, he said worse than this, so that's why it's like I'm like. Yes, there was a little bit of blowback about like the Nazi stuff he was saying a couple weeks ago, but I feel like people are giving what he said about Beyonce and Jay-Z's kids more blowback, and I'm like, literally a couple weeks ago he said stuff that was way worse than this. So that's why when he like went on the whole like tweet rant, like he was like saying stuff about like
He's probably still tweeting right now.
he might be honestly, like because
You never know with Jay.
bro, it'll just happen in the middle of the night where he'll just like go on a tweet rant. So that's why I'm like, bro, he said worse. So that's why I'm like, that's why with this round I'm just like.
To me, it's not even the fact that he says worse. It's just you have to have the ability to separate the artist from his actions. And if Kanye West was an artist, as in like made paintings, and this was 100 years ago, no one would care. I know social media plays a factor in things. I don't want to sound stupid or ignorant or anything like that, but like. There's been years and years and years of people just, being able to separate the artist from. I mean, your favorite artist is probably crazy, man. Like, they're probably off some shit. And I get it. It's terrible things to say, but it's terrible things for him. He's a voice with an opinion, and he has influence, and the things that he says influences people. I get it. I understand how big his platform is, but he literally is just saying shit. He's not. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's really no reason to take stock into what he's saying. It's not like anything of what he's saying that he really stands on. He probably doesn't believe anything that he's saying. He's just saying it to get a reaction because he's got an album dropping. And plot twist, the album's great, one, and two, it ain't got shit to do with none of the. If Kanye is the type of person to where if Kanye really felt a way about something, he would put it in his music. And there is nothing about any anti-Semitism or nothing about Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids, nothing unwholesome outside of this album. Like, this album is really just like, it's named Bully after his son Saint. He calls his son Saint the Bully. Hence why in the video for the album, it's just Saint beating up niggas with a bunch of wrestlers and shit. He calls Saint a bully because he said he saw Saint kick a kid because he was weak. saying said the kid was weak. And he was like, oh, you're a bully. And that's what he named the album off of. I can't get mad at a man who's passionate about his kids. Can't get mad at a man who makes music for his kids, who wants to involve his kids. He's very unorthodox. Sometimes, a lot of times when Kanye says and does things, he be actually having the point. He just does it in such an outlandish way. It's like, nah, nigga, we can't consider your point because you just said fuck them kids. So, like, hey, you had a point too. You said fuck them kids. And that's just the truth about Kanye. So, I mean, I'm fucking with the album. I got this shit on repeat. I feel like I know where I was and who I was with when I played this album. And I turned over and I looked at him and I said, thank you for being here because we're witnessing history right now. The way they're going to talk about Kanye is the way that they're going to talk about Da Vinci. It's the way that they're going to talk about Steve Jobs. It's the way that they're going to talk about
Bill Gates,
Bach.
But the thing that worries me about the thing is about Kanye though versus those people died before they had like controversy come out. Kanye, like say if Kanye had died after he made like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, right? Then people would be like, oh my gosh, like look at everything that he did, blah blah. But with the past 5-6 years, the music aside, I feel like he's been tainting his legacy. To like, for example, with the album, I didn't even know this album came out until you told me.
Well, the thing is with Kanye,
nobody knows.
Like until like if it was like 2-3 years ago, maybe not even like. Yeah, I'll say that 2-3 years ago, like people would be like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I'm anticipating. Like remember when Kanye did the thing where he'd be like, "Oh, next week's gonna come out," and then there's my people like, "Oh my gosh, when are you gonna like drop this thing and like talk about
Life of Pablo? Life of Pablo was the last album that he had,
like a traditional release."
A traditional release where we knew that it was the last album that where he was automatic. When I'm Kanye West, I put something out and it's automatic. When he went to the Hills and he put out all those albums, the Push album, the Tiana Taylor album, the Nas album, and they were all 7 tracks. The Gay album, Kids See Ghost album. That at that point we understood all that was great music. That Tiana album was great, even though it didn't get a lot of acclaim.
Oh, it didn't get a lot of buzz. Yeah.
Rose in Harlem, Three-Way, all them songs. Them were hits with Ty Dolla $ign. Those were hits. That Push album was fucking crazy. That Nas album, it was Nas fought those beats, but it was some tracks on there. And I skipped past Ye and Kids See Ghost. I get it, but. After that, there was a bit of a fall off, and then every once in a while, Kanye will remind you why he is the best producer to ever live. And Donda was one.
I was about to say, I think
Donda was not.
Donda.
Kanye West is the only artist. Kanye West is the only artist outside of Kendrick Lamar where I turn their album on and I go, wow. Like Gen X, I was like, wow.
The last album I bought from Kanye West. Oh gosh, wow, damn, boy. Wow.
Was it Life of Pablo? It was before that.
It was the one with the heart on it.
Yeah. Oh, 808s that was 2007, 2008.
That was the last album I bought. And I ain't gonna lie, that album right there was banging.
And the thing is that album set the precedent where Kanye West's music was consistently 3 or 4 years ahead of what you were going to be hearing. Life of Pablo had hits. Life of Pablo had hits that hit 3-4 years later. Same did 808s and Heartbreak. Wasn't when he released that, when he released Jesus,
like music Love Like That. I remember people didn't like Love Like That. I think I was wrong, but obviously I wasn't the only one. But I Love Like That. I was like,
that shit was banging, bro.
I like this song.
Yeah, you just didn't hit right away either. It took a second for the niggas to hop on and realize that, oh yeah, he's changing shit. He's changing the way that, and not only that, Kanye West is the first artist that we've ever seen have an artist go in the booth, spit some shit, and then he goes in there and says, okay, now AI that in my voice. That's new. That is new. That is innovating the way that we consume music. That's innovating music altogether. I personally don't think that he did half of this album. I think half this album is actually other people doing the album and him just AI-ing his voice over it, and he's just moderating the cadence. I don't believe that Spanish track that he did, that's not him. I don't think that's him.
I'm gonna have to go and listen to this album.
But you know, I hate AI though.
Some people do, but like I don't think it's AI creating the vocals. I think it's someone going into the booth, spitting it, and then I saw a thing. I think it was on Academics or one of his like sub accounts or whatever post the Grand Wizard or something. I don't know. So they posted Kanye's like Kanye with an artist. And I think it was a Spanish artist, and he was telling the producer, "All right, AI that whole thing into my voice."
Yeah,
and it was a dude who spit it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and really actually listen to this album now to see the way.
Child, somebody put it up on YouTube. It's like three different YouTube accounts. I think somebody posted it.
And the thing is, he doesn't even want.
It's not on even. So it's not on Spotify. Just
He's not gonna put it on them.
And that's how you know it's real music, because he's not trying to make money off of it.
That's because he's a billionaire too.
Also, talk that shit.
He's a billionaire too. So it's like why put it on the streaming service?
I'm gonna let you roll with that Beyonce concert. Comment. I can't stand.
Bro, I love her, man.
I can't stand.
What do you got for Jonathan Majors?
Oh man, leave my boy Jonathan.
I gotta get him. So first, and it's weird because I don't even know if it's him specifically. It's more so the people around him. Because Jonathan Majors, I already washed my hands with him after like the allegations came out, whatever, right? But then when the text messages came out, that where he was like admitting to like putting hands on her, right? I was like, all right, well then that's it. So then I jumped onto another celebrity, right? Because I think a lot of reasons why, like specifically in the black community, why people don't want to write off Jonathan Majors because they're like, oh, we need like a positive like male actor, black role model, whatever, right? I'm like, bro, we have one. But we have to build him up. Damson Idris, I think could be that person. He was in one of the biggest shows FX ever had, which was Snowfall.
Oh, you talking about my boy there? Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then he's got an upcoming movie called F1 that's supposed to be like a big like award season busting. He plays like some like race car driver, and I'm like, well, there we go, right there. I'm like, he doesn't have any issues with him. Then you have this guy.
They like Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan's good too.
Which he about to catch. Michael B. Jordan's about to catch from me only because 2 weeks ago. No, 2-3 weeks ago, somebody asked Michael B. Jordan because he's got a movie coming out called Sinners, which looks amazing.
Oh hell yeah!
He plays like the twin brothers or whatever, like Ryan Coogler, I think, directed. So a couple weeks ago, somebody asked Michael B. Jordan, they're like, hey, what do you think about like Jonathan Majors? He's like, oh, that's my boy. I'd make another Creed movie with him, right? And so then the week after that, the Hollywood Reporter, they dropped like this article where they're like, oh, Jonathan Majors, he's staging his comeback, he's been through rough times, blah, this, that, the other. And then Rolling Stone pulled the reverse Uno, and they were like, no. And they dropped the audio of the altercation between him and the girl where he fully admits that he strangled her. And I'm like, well, bro, there it is. So it's like, I don't want to
like it's affecting him very much.
And that's the thing. It's like, and people are like, a lot of people online, they're reacting like, oh, well, he's not, why is it not taken down? I'm like, bro, it never happens with like celebrities like that.
And also, this movie that he's dropping,
that magazine
is supposed to be a phenomenal,
and that's the thing. It's like I want the thing that I want. There's always like people who I'm like, who even if I don't fuck with them, there's things that I won't take away from them, right? Like I always joke. Just to bring her into this. No. Well, he's one of them. But the person that I always think, because I'm always bashing the fuck out of this person, Taylor Swift, right? About how much she annoys me, right? But I always say, as much as she annoys me, the one thing I won't take from her is that she writes her music, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So Jonathan Majors is a phenomenal actor. Right? I think he's a great actor, and I think that's another reason why we wanted to build him up. But then it's like, bro, I have to jump ship to the next person because I don't want to be like, oh yeah, this is who I want to represent us. And I'm like, bro, and you have a case where you just strangled a woman. Because I feel like strangulation is like
the case has been like dropped, everything else, and it's
he was found guilty for it.
Yeah, but
this was 20.
He was found guilty, but then I think not too long ago she recently came back out and said that none of this shit really never happened. So that's how he started kind of getting.
She recanted some stuff.
No, so what she did. So when the story first broke, initially what she said was, I don't want to go to the police. She said, I don't want to go to the police about it, because he texted her and said, hey, go to the police, because she said, I don't want this to be a thing, because you're an actor, you're a celebrity, I don't want this to be a big deal ever, right? And then it became a big deal anyway, because he's a celebrity, because all the footage and all that dropped. She never said he didn't strangle her. She never backed out. She never said that he didn't attack her. And then not even just her, but you have pretty much, I think 3 of his exes came forward. You have people that he worked with on sets before saying that he was like a super like violent, super aggressive guy, that whole sort of deal, right? So it's like when you have all these people saying that's a bad person, and then you have him admitting to being a bad person, it's like, bro, at that point, like I can't put you on our pedestal.
Let me play something for you real quick.
What you about to say?
During the week of your film's release, how did that make you feel?
I was so grateful
That's me about
that
the
I
leak.
had done my work, and continue to and I'm continuing to do my work. I can't speak to it, but obviously, because you're talking about it, there were vibrations.
The music.
Reverberations. Same as everything before.
Did he say vibrations?
But I was happy I'd done my work.
Dams and Idris, come to the front.
Well, here's the thing though.
Or Aaron Pierre, I guess.
You do know that when they went to court, that everything that he did, they submitted, but the shit she did, they never submitted any of the evidence in court for what she did. Why?
What did they say she did?
No, she did some shit to him.
What makes you say that though?
Man, bro, they had footage of her.
You saw when she was like running down the street.
All the fucked up shit she literally did. Running down the street, not leaving when she was supposed to. He asked her several times to leave. All this shit, and there was a black man that said, "No, we not submitting any of the evidence against her," and they threw all that shit out. So it made me seem like they was out to get him from the get-go to make him look like he was a bad person.
But that the video of her running after him, that happened in 2023. The initial choking incident that they submitted was in 2022, so that was before that.
Yeah, still though, but it's like, here's the thing.
What did she say to make him choke?
Don't even be that. But that's the thing. Even if, and this always, I'm like, even if she said something, even if she called him a bitch who can't act, it's like choking somebody. You're choking somebody because you're cutting off their circulation. That's literally like you're trying to murder somebody.
You ever choke somebody out of anger?
Out of anger? No. Have you?
No.
Anger, you gotta get to be like,
To put your hands around somebody?
I'm just saying though, I ain't trying to put him on too much of a pedestal, but what I'm saying at the same time though, man, it's just like, bro, we ain't got to try to tear him down either though. As a society,
I'm bringing them down.
we ain't got to do that shit, bro.
And
Like,
the only reason is because I champion this guy from like the top, because there are a lot of people who did not fuck with him initially because there was that.
I didn't like him. I don't like him. I don't like him.
He did his
I kind of like him.
own.
I kind of like him now.
Because he choked. I'm telling you.
Not because he's an underdog, but at first I didn't like him because he came off very pompous and very like. He was kind of snooty.
And see, people,
I just didn't like it.
there was, I'll never forget, he did this GQ spread where he had like this pink sweater on or some shit, right? And people were like, oh, he's trying to kill masculinity in the black community. He's bad for us, blah, blah, blah. He did this photo shoot with Michael B. Jordan where they had their arms around each other's neck and they were like, oh my God, what's this they're trying to push? And now that he has a case where he tried to strangle somebody, people are like, no, you guys are trying to like bring him down. Like, no, he's great. I was like, a lot of motherfuckers didn't even like him 4 years ago. But now that he has a case where he full on admitted on tape to strangling somebody, now they're like, oh no, we can't. I'm like,
That's because racism.
I liked him because of his acting.
and that was the thing. It's like that was why initially when people were against him, I'm like, bro, he's a great actor. Kind of like the same, which I'm a knock on wood, I don't jinx Dams and Idris or whoever else. I'm like, at the time,
He's a damn good actor.
I'm like, John Major's a great actor. I like Lovecraft Country. I like him. He did this movie called White Boy Rick. I'm like, bro, I was like, he is like our next guy. And then it was just like,
That's like how Columbus Short fucked up his career.
oh god. What was it? What was that? What show was he on? He was on Scandal, right?
Yeah.
Bro.
Fucked it up.
Bro. Do you know how many times I'm sorry, just really quick. Do you know how many times I watched? What was that movie he was in with Chris Brown?
Oh, Stump the Yard.
Do you know how many times I watched Stump the Yard when I was a kid? You could have told me he was gonna be Will Smith.
I hate that damn movie. Give us some updates on Snow White while I go pee real quick.
Why you go pee? You said give us some updates. You about to go pee? Oh, bro, it's tanking already, guy. It's tanking already. People don't fuck with Disney anymore. Like,
So what is it tanking on? Like, what's the
so the reviews are bad. The reviews on Rotten Tomatoes right now is sitting at a 47%. So there's that, and then the other thing a lot of people are pointing out. So a lot of times with Disney movies, especially like these remakes, like the most recent one, like Mufasa, or whatever, right? You see them at least start to sell out on the opening weekend, right? So the movie, I want to say, took about 150 million, 120 million to make, give or take, right? So for a movie like this to be successful, like in the long run, it has to make at least 100 million back on the opening weekend.
right?
They're projecting right now it's only going to make 20 or 30 million on the weekend, opening weekend. So to put that into perspective, Mufasa, Aladdin, like that Lion King remake, Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, all that, they ended their entire run somewhere between 600 million to, I think Lion King made like $1 billion or something, right? They're saying that this movie at the end of it all probably won't even break and get its budget back. So they're saying between the bad reviews for it, between people just flat out not going to see the movie for whatever reason. I mean, I'm gonna go tomorrow. I'm not like excited, but I just go to the movie every week any fucking
It looked
way.
like it's too more musical than anything.
Bro, like, and then you have the Seven Dwarfs, which just looked terrifying because I guess they used CGI, and I was like, bro, I'm sure you could have found like,
And they said they also saying it's not a traditional Snow White.
exactly.
They said they changed it up
To like modernize it.
Yeah, they made Snow White look like a boss babe.
Exactly. And- what the hell?
No, yeah, they said they made Snow White look like more boss babe, not the damsel in distress where she didn't have to be saved. She was more doing like, I'm looking like. So that's a red flag right there,
Bro, and you got, so I guess the actress from who plays like the evil queen. So I've only, again, I haven't seen the movie yet.
That's
Gal Gadot. I've only seen trailers,
I like her, though.
clips from it. Bro, as I'm watching it, I'm like, this movie was like doomed to fail from the beginning because nobody in the movie looks like they want to like be there. Like it feels like, granted, it's Disney, so a check, especially from Disney, a check is a check. But you can tell, like looking at the movie, like, oh, all of you are just here just to get paid. Like none of you feel like, oh, we want to make a good movie. We want it to be entertaining, and it's for the kids. Like we want to make something good for the kids. I'm like, bro, you all look like you were just like, oh, Disney called, whatever, just put in whatever costume you need. Let me make this quick buck, and they're not about to make a god.
I mean, because when you look at the chick that's playing Snow White, it's cool, but when you look at her, like I can give two rats' ass about the color of her skin, anything else, but you just look at her like. You don't look like the perfect person to play Snow White.
Here, bro.
And then, honestly, you think about it, it felt like it was rushed because all of a sudden, Snow White movie come out. Normally, you hear about these movies coming out.
Like they build up to it,
And I don't feel like it was no build up to it.
like the Lilo and Stitch movie that's about to come out right after it.
Right. So this is like a build up to Lilo and Stitch. And I seen the thing, and I was like, look like they kind of kept to the original of the cartoon. They maybe changed a little bit here and there, but other than that, they kept to the original cartoon. But I'm looking like Disney.
Bro,
Stop with this where you got to make everything motion picture now. Stop.
make an adaptation. That's why when they did The Lion King, it was funny to me because I'm like, they were like, yeah, it's live action. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, those aren't real lions. I'm like, it's still computer animated. I'm like, yeah, it's still animated technically.
And like my wife was like, "Are you gonna watch it?" I was like, "No." And the only reason why Beyonce was in it. I can't fuck with it because she fucked up Elton John's song, man.
Can you feel alive tonight? That song was
Fuck that.
Bro, okay, now here's the thing. First of all, it's both her and Donald Glover singing on the song.
And they fucked the song up.
And they both, it's like, first of all, I can't take y'all even though they're lions. When I'm watching it, I hear their voices, and I'm like, I can't take the two of you serious, like looking at each other in the booth, singing at each other. This isn't Donald Glover. I don't know how old he is. Isn't Donald Glover like he's like in his 30s, right? I feel like Beyonce's like her. I just can't see them as being romance. So them singing to each other, I was like, I can't take this serious.
And then Mufasa. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go see that because you got so you got to have her in it and you got to have your fucking daughter in it. I'm done.
To be fair, they're only in it for like 2 like because most of the movie takes place in the past, so you only get like her voice and then I just said his name, Donald Glover, and her daughter Blue Ivy. You get them at like the very beginning where they're like, because it's Rafiki, so he's like, we're gonna tell you the story about when Mufasa was a kid. And then they do the whole flashback about how Scar and what's the name fell out, and then at the end it comes back and they're like, and that's the story of how it happened, and now you get a new sibling.
Mufasa was adopted then, right?
So yes, Mufasa was adopted by Scar's family, and so the thing about the original cartoon, right? Like they had like major beef, right? Like obviously, like Scar wanted him like dead. Do you guys want me to say what their whole beef was about? Do you want me to play what that is?
Go ahead. I don't care.
They fall out over a girl.
I kind of figured
their whole beef is because there was this chick that Scar liked. But she didn't like him. I swear to God, she didn't like him. She liked Mufasa. And so Scar. Yes. And so Scar. And
they went back and they took Lion King, a wholesome story, and made it about two niggas fighting over a bitch. I
literally
over Sarabi.
But what's the funniest part about it is so Mufasa knows that Scar likes her, right? And so Mufasa, he's trying to, like, oh yeah, but she's like, okay, no, I don't like him, I like you. And so Mufasa's like, well, all right, I guess. And Scar's like, I let you in my family. And that is, I kid you not, there is nothing, there's no sort of thing about like, I deserve to be king more than you, I'm stronger. There's nothing like, it's literally just, she likes you, doesn't like me. I don't fuck with you, no.
How does it end up that he's adopted and he become king?
So Mufasa gets like separated from like his like family or whatever, right? So he gets separated from his family. And like towards the end, he gets reunited. I think it's with his mom. Only one of them ends up like once he gets like older, he gets reunited with them. But Scar's family, because he's not called Scar at first. I can't remember what his name is. He gets called Scar because, of course, at one point him and Mufasa fight. He gets scratched. He's like, no, I'm gonna go by the name Scar, which also I was like, oh my God. But his family also don't really like him. Like they like Mufasa, like, oh, he's much more noble than you, all this, that, and the other. So they are the ones who are like, hey, he's gonna be the king, not you. But the thing is, when that happens, when he finds that out, he doesn't, because that's when I thought like, oh, this is when he's gonna be like pissed. But he's mostly fine with it because he likes him and Mufasa like each other. He's like, yeah, that's fine with me, blah blah blah. But then as the movie progresses, they spend time around Sarabi, which is a funny name because I kept thinking of Sarabi and Wasabi, over literal pussy, literal pussy. So they start beefing. And then that's when they get into their whole fight, and then he scratches their ass, he gets scarred. He's like, I'll never forgive you for this sort of deal, and then goes off into the Badlands. And I was like, over Sarabi? I said, this? Like, if I were, because the thing is, because Simba, like in the flashback, Simba and them, they aren't in the cave with Rafiki. Like, Rafiki's telling the story to like their daughter or whatever, right? So I'm like, does Simba know this? Because if I was Simba and I found out that this motherfucker tried to, he killed my father. He tried to kill my entire family. I said, all because he wanted to fuck my mama. And she said, oh. I feel like everybody got that. This is all pride.
So where does Scar's family go to?
So it's just unnatural. Like as they got older, they like died at some point. Because Scar, he just leaves. He just goes off into the Badlands. Like obviously, I guess where he starts like
Mufasa runs the pride.
Exactly. And then at some point, every now and then, Scar comes back and he hangs around like, oh yeah, blah blah, this, that, the other. And I'm like, bro.
What? No, you know what? I ain't even gonna ask questions because I already know they in the works to make a what's that?
I'm gonna make another one.
No, to make a live movie of Beauty and the Beast. You know,
oh, bro, they already did. That was the first one they did. It's like what was that? 2013. It was so far back. You remember the Beauty and the Beast? That was the first live action.
First one they did.
Yeah, let me see what year that was like. I want to say that was 2013
because they did now I heard Aladdin was bad.
Aladdin was
scary.
It was scary. It was that's my review of all these movies.
It was corny because
corny. Yeah,
you tried to do something Robin Williams did.
There it is. Yep.
Will Smith, you're not Robin Williams, bro.
And it was 2017. I swear I thought it was 2013. It was 2017.
No. The next one, they got in line. And they better not fuck it up.
Which one?
It's Pocahontas. They're supposed to do a live action version of Pocahontas.
Which, and that's what's interesting. So if they do a live action Pocahontas, my question is, are they going to do it like the Disney movie version? Or are they going to do like where? By the way, the Pilgrims showed up. And I can't say the word. They did certain things.
No, they better do the Disney version, and they better not fuck it up.
Otherwise, motherfuckers gonna be looking like, what the fuck?
Nah, kill them all.
They're gonna take the kids to see it. And you can
kill them all.
Now, to be fair, there is a scene in the animated one, where they technically, I guess, do go. Like, there's a point where they do all start fighting.
In Pocahontas?
Yeah, because it's like towards like the end of the movie. I think it's like towards the end of the movie, which I need to. Maybe I have Disney Plus. I'm paying $10 a fucking month for Disney Plus. Maybe I should go back and rewatch some.
You only got Disney Plus, bro?
Oh no, I have.
Listen. You ain't got the one with Disney Plus.
You want the full pack where it's like Disney Plus, Hulu, and I think now they can add HBO Max to it. No, which I need to because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Isn't like 20? It's like $20 if you have them or something, right?
Yeah, it's cheaper.
Bro, I'm paying like $50 for all that shit right now.
You know what? I know we getting ready to close up and wrap up. You know what one anime show I would love for them to bring back because I know they're gonna roast everybody if they ever come back, and I loved it. The fucking Boondocks.
Bro,
we'll never get that show again.
I thought you were gonna say the PJs.
We'll never get that show again. The creators beefed. The creators had a beef.
What?
And that's why.
Was it over Sarabi?
Because you know damn well if we get that back, they got too much material.
They got so much material,
and they is gonna like, dude.
Do you remember what the beef was? You know what the beef was about?
I don't know what it is offhand, but I remember I just listened to it, and it's not reconciled.
They revived it at one point,
and it wasn't as good. Because the main guy won't go back.
Oh, and then what's the name is dead now too.
Yeah, but they'll find a way to honor him.
I think the son, John Witherspoon's son. I think this might be just me misremembering, but I could have sworn like when they were talking about bringing it back, he like posted a clip where he could like do his like dad's voice or whatever. So I'm like, even if you got to do something like that, like
AI.
Yeah, they'll find a way to honor him. But I'm just saying, they got so much material now. They will roast everybody, man.
They'd have to put it, I feel like, just because how it is now, they'd have to put it like on a streaming service because it used to come on like Adult Swim or whatever, right? Yeah. So people don't really watch network TV anymore, no?
You know what? I was going to say a show we could talk about tomorrow, but most of you guys weren't around to watch it back in the fucking 90s. And that's In Living Color.
Now, Even though I went back and watched the episodes up as I got older, because I remember when it was like when shows like Mad TV were on, they were like, "No, you need to watch." They're like, "You need to watch In Living Color." Like, it's funny. And all
So think about In Living Color. Do you think what would In Living Color look like today if it was nowadays? It probably wouldn't. It wouldn't survive.
No.
It wouldn't survive.
No. People just ain't cool like that.
In Living Color jump started like so many people. I mean, obviously there's obvious ones like the Wayans, like that entire fucking empire. But even like you think like white celebrities like Jim Carrey, like that's where he
That's the
started.
reason why we have such cool halftime shows.
Yeah. It wouldn't survive in today's society.
It's different. But on that note, we'll go ahead and pop on out of here. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us for a couple hours. As always, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe, and check us out on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Amazon Music, anywhere where you can find a podcast.
Instagram
as well. That's where we've been posting crazy clips. It looks like Coach Dre is arguing with people in the comments, which is hilarious.
Facebook.
As always, like I mentioned, thank you. It was a blah, blah, blah. It was a vibe. It was real. This is the panel. They call me Spill. My blood pressure medication.
Yeah, and just prayers out for the community of in the city of Gary. We know we had a tornado hit us last night. You know what I'm saying? For all prayers, we thank God that nobody was. We know maybe one person was injured, but other than that, everybody was safe and everybody's okay. We're praying that everybody's power is being to restore it and everything else. But the most important thing about it is the city of Gary is safe and everybody's well. And we will rebuild and we're going to be fine and we're strong together.
Keep Gary in your prayers. We'll see you guys very, very, very soon.
Indeed.